Hi everyone, it's Peter of GizGuy.com and we recently received yung pinakabagong smartphone ni Tecno sa Pilipinas. Ito yon, the Spark Go 3. Tara, silipin natin. Quick unboxing, ito yung packaging ng phone. Sa likod, you will see yung key specs and features niya. Upon opening, we were greeted na by the phone itself. If kita sa camera natin, meron siyang pre-installed screen protector. Na-appreciate ko din na maganda pala yung libreng case niya. Ito naman yung paper documents in case na kailangan mo siya. Of course, merong SIM ejector tool para ma-access mo yung SIM tray slot. And then, Type A to Type C, data and charging cable. May power brick din na kasama, USB-A siya, and it is up to 10 watts. Yung charging ng phone is up to 15 watts, but yung libreng power brick, 10 watts lang. Okay lang, libre naman. In fairness, maganda nga siya with the case. Hindi siya mukhang cheap. Siyempre, yung primary purpose ng case na to is to protect yung phone from accidental drops. Like that, para hindi siya magkaroon ng damage. Pero, even without the case, protektado pa rin itong phone na to. Sabi ni Tecno, meron itong military grade and SGS certification stating na kaya nitong mag-survive ng mga accidental drops up to 1.2 meters high. Not bad na yon. Hindi ko na i-demo yung mga durability feats ng phone na ito. But having those certifications, kahit paano, meron kang peace of mind. Besides, magki-case pa rin naman ako. And ayoko ma-damage yung phone kasi sayang naman. Magkakaroon pa rin ito ng dent pag nabagsak mo. For extra durability, meron din daw itong IP64 rating for dust and water resistance. So basically, protektado yung phone mo sa mga water splashes and yung internals ng device from dust. Not sure if na-mention nila but wala akong nabasa if meron tong glass protection for its display. My review unit, it is available in Aurora Purple, pero you can also get it in other colorways such as ink black and titanium gray. Yung material na ginamit nila here, mostly polycarbonate. Understandable kasi this is a budget smartphone. From last year, mas pinanipis pa nila yung Spark Go 3. From 8.25mm nung Spark Go 2, ngayon 8.19mm pa lang siya. And look at that design. Admittedly, sa likuran niya, medyo iPhone-ish siya, dual-tone design, and yung camera layout niya. But for me, this is not a bad thing kasi this is just a budget smartphone. And imagine, a phone under 5,000 pesos can give you that decent look. In front, lumaki yung display from 6.67 inch, ngayon, 6.74 inch na siya. Yung downside is balik tayo sa notch. U-shaped notch naman siya, and hindi naman siya masyadong annoying tingnan, but mas modern tingnan yung punch hole last time. Understandably, medyo makapal yung kanyang shin bezel like most budget smartphones. Yung resolution ng display is still HD+, serviceable naman siya, maganda yung colors, maganda yung tuning, and meron pa tong up to 120Hz refresh rate. So, reasonably smooth yung kanyang display. Yung gripe lang natin is understandably dahil HD+ resolution lang siya, pag nag-pixel peep ka, it won't be as sharp and as detailed ng other smartphones with 1080p or higher panels. Unfortunately, ganun talaga sa most budget smartphones, bihira ang 1080p. In my experience, happy naman ako sa kanyang indoor use. Most will be satisfied with its quality. However, medyo mag-struggle siya sa outdoor use. Hindi ko na-review yung Spark Go 2 last year, but many stated na stereo speaker siya. Unfortunately, sa Spark Go 3, single speaker lang siya. Malakas naman siya, but syempre mas immersive if stereo speaker setup siya. Thankfully, meron siyang earphone jack 3.5mm in case meron ka pa rin natatabing wired headphones dyan. Coming from last year, similar lang yung kanyang camera specs. Meron siyang single 13 megapixels f1.9 primary shooter, sa likuran. Yung isang bilog dito below the primary camera is not for imaging. Pag binasa mo, ang sabi, infrared sensor. Ang purpose niyan, pwede mong gamitin ito as a remote control sa mga devices na compatible like aircons and televisions. Speaking of image quality, in fairness talaga kay Tecno, kahit sa mga ultra-budget smartphones like this one, consistent sila. Decent yung iyong makukuhang shots, serviceable. Actually, pag daylight, minsan papasa pa nga siya as great. As you can see dito sa aking daylight shot, may HDR effect pa nga eh. Medyo kulang sa highlight, shadows, and dynamic range. Pero yung colors are on point and kita pa yung detalye sa clouds. Sa mga close-up shots, up to 2x zoom, maganda pa rin yung output na nakukuha natin. Pwede na ito on a budget. Kahit mag-pixel peep ka, hindi siya ganun ka-grainy, basta maganda yung lighting. Nakakatuwa din yung flash na for fast-moving and action shots. I tried yung portrait mode sa studio namin with studio lights of course, and happy ako sa result. Hindi niya ako in-over-beautify, and detalyado pa rin yung aking pagmumukha and kita yung mga blemishes sa aking balat. Sa medyo low light, may struggle ng konti, but pwede pa rin eh. Kahit pa paano, na-handle niya yung highlights ng maayos, hindi sabog yung ilaw, medyo naging slightly violetish lang, pero pasado na to for the price. Sa selfie, it depends on the situation, but pag maganda yung lighting, maganda yung selfies na makukuha mo. Mag-struggle siya sa HDR, obviously, sa mga against the light shots, and minsan sa indoor shots, papaputiin ka niya. Pero understandable yon kasi this is an affordable smartphone. Obviously, it won't be that great sa low light, pero as you can see here, hindi masyadong grainy yung shot na nakuha ko, and hindi niya night wash masyado yung subject, unlike yung other selfie phones na pag nag-struggle, papaputiin ka na lang. For videos, it has the ability to record up to 2K resolution. However, hindi ko siya masyado i-recommend talaga. Except pag talagang wala ka na magamit na video camera kasi it will be shaky. Wala tong OIS kasi budget smartphone. Pag may tripod ka or talagang steady yung kamay mo, pwede kang makakuha ng mga serviceable videos in well-lit situations. Sa performance, honestly, hindi ako masyado nag-expect. Naka-Unisoc T7-250 ito. It is a budget chipset. Usable naman siya for social media and yung mga basic tasks like phone calls, web browsing, and many more. From last year, medyo lumaki yung RAM niya. Instead na 3GB lang, ngayon 4GB na yung kanyang physical RAM. But pwede mo pa siyang i-expand up to 4GB with the help of its internal storage. Ang magiging effect nun is the phone will be able to handle more tasks in the background. Unfortunately, yung unit na nakuha ko is 64GB lang. If I will buy this device, I suggest you go for the 128GB variant. Otherwise, kung talagang gipit talaga, understandable naman, mahirap ang buhay ngayon, and yung nakuha mo is this 64GB version, after quite some time, pag-ipunan mo, bumili ka ng SD card para doon ka mag-store ng mga photos na you will take using this phone. And yes, buti na lang, triple slot siya. That means pwede kang maglagay ng 2 SIM card, nano SIM, and isang micro SD card na dedicated. So ayun, manage your expectations lang talaga. Yung pinakamabigat na task na nagawa ko dito is some minor CapCut editing and Mobile Legends gaming at low settings. But since nga 64GB lang ang storage ko, ayan, a few days ko palang ginagamit yung phone, 54.64% used na ako sa kanyang capacity. As a backup smartphone without SIM card, kaya nitong mag-last ng about 1.5 days on a single charge. Estimate ko, pag may SIM card to, siguro 1 whole day of casual usage. Babalikan ko kayo guys, kasi naubusan talaga ako ng physical SIM card. Puro eSIMs na lang ang gamit ko lately. For charging, I think mga 2.5 hours using this 10 watts power brick. But if you have a 15 watts charger, pwede siyang bumilis to around 2 hours or Sa software, the software is decent naman, but unfortunately, meron siyang mga pre-installed apps and most of them naman, you can remove it. However, meron siyang mga ads na nagpa-pop up once in a while, which could be a little annoying. There are ways to minimize it, but mas maganda sana if wala na lang yan from the very start. By the way, this phone also has plenty of AI features. By default, meron siya nung DeepSeek R1 and yung Hey Ella, pag ginamit mo yung voice command niya, you can use it to control your phone and maybe you can even do something like a reminder. Example, may meeting ka kinabukasan, we need to do it. You can use the AI to help you. Meron din siya nung FreeLink technology that allows you to make free calls and SMS even if wala kang mobile internet. Ang downside lang nito is I think kailangan yata is techno to techno yung device mo. But this could be ideal pag may mga emergencies and if talagang walang signal sa area na pinuntahan mo. So far, for a smartphone na under 5,000 pesos yung price, 4,499 for the 64 gigs version and 4,999 for the 1 to 8 gigabytes variant, wala ako masyadong reklamo sa smartphone na ito. Despite yung mga understandable flaws na we mentioned earlier, this is a serviceable phone na good enough for social media use, decent for cameras, and madaming AI capabilities. Bonus pa na meron siyang drop resistance and other durability features para magamit mo ng mas matagal yung phone. Moreover, meron pa tong fluency rating of 4 years. And that's it, and thank you so much for watching. Stay safe always, and goodbye.